Thursday, March 6. Limits and Rules. The cosmic conflict is primarily a dispute over God's character, caused by the devil's slanderous allegations against God's goodness, justice, and government. It's a kind of cosmic covenant lawsuit. Such a conflict cannot be settled by sheer power, but instead requires demonstration. If serious allegations are brought against a person in power, the best and maybe the only way to defeat the allegations would be to allow for a free, fair and open investigation. If the allegations threaten the entire government of love, they cannot simply be swept under the rug. What does all this mean for understanding the cosmic conflict and relating to the problem of evil? If God makes a promise, would he ever break it? Of course not. Insofar as God agrees to rules of engagement, his future action would be morally limited, and as such, some evils may fall within the temporary domain of the kingdom of darkness. Read Mark 6 verse 5 and Mark 9 verse 29. What do these texts display about how even divine action might be integrally related to such factors as faith and prayer? Mark 6 verse 5 says that Jesus could not do any miracles there, except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. And in Mark 9 verse 29, Jesus replied, "This kind can come out only by prayer." In both these narratives, some limits or rules of engagement seem to be in place, dynamically related to such things as faith and prayer. Elsewhere, we see abundant evidence that prayer makes a difference in this world, opening up avenues for divine action that otherwise might not be morally available. However, we should not make the mistake of thinking that faith and prayer are the only factors. There are likely many other factors of which we might be unaware. This fits with what we've previously seen about rules of engagement. Insofar as God makes some commitment or agrees to some rules of engagement, as we said, there are some certain rules of engagement in the great controversy that limit what God can morally do, but at least for now. Thought for reflection. Read Romans 8 verse 18 and Revelation 21 3 and 4 and ask how these texts give me confidence that even though there are many things that we do not understand, we can trust that God knows what is best, that he wants what is best, and that he will bring about an end to evil and usher in an eternity of bliss. Romans 8 verse 18 says, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." And then Revelation 21 3 and 4, "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away."
Thursday, March 6. Limits and Rules. In the divine arrangement, God does nothing without the cooperation of man. He compels no man's will. That must be given to the Lord completely, else the Lord is not able to accomplish his divine work that he would do through the human agency. Jesus declared that in a certain place he could not do many mighty works among the people because of their unbelief. He wanted to do for them in that place just what he knew that they needed to have done, but he could not because unbelief barred the way. The potter cannot mold and fashion unto honor that which has never been placed in his hands. The Christian life is one of daily surrender, submission, and continual overcoming, gaining fresh victories every day. This is the growing up into Christ, fashioning the life into the divine model. That I may know him, page 55. Some poor souls who have been fascinated with the eloquent words of the teachers of spiritualism and have yielded to its influence, afterward find out its deadly character and would renounce and flee from it, but cannot. Satan holds them by his power and is not willing to let them go free. He knows that they are surely his while he has them under his special control, but that if they once free themselves from his power, he can never bring them again to believe in spiritualism and to place themselves so directly under his control. The only way for such poor souls to overcome Satan is to discern between pure Bible truth and fables. As they acknowledge the claims of truth, they place themselves where they can be helped. They should entreat those who have had a religious experience and who have faith in the promises of God to plead with the mighty deliverer in their behalf. It will be a close conflict. Satan will reinforce his evil angels who have controlled these persons. But if the saints of God, with deep humility, fast and pray, their prayers will prevail. Jesus will commission holy angels to resist Satan, and he will be driven back and his power broken from off the afflicted ones. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 1, page 343. There are toils and conflicts and self-denials for us all. Not one will escape them. We must tread the path where Jesus leads the way. It may be in tears, in trials, in bereavements, in sorrow for sins, or in seeking for the mastery over depraved desires, unbalanced characters, and unholy tempers. It requires earnest effort to present ourselves a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. It takes the entire being. There is no chamber of the mind where Satan can hold sway and carry out his devices. Self must be crucified. Consecration, submission, and sacrifices must be made that will seem like taking the very lifeblood from the heart. Will it make you sad to be buffeted, despised, derided, maligned of the world? It ought not, for Jesus told us just how it would be. If the world hates you, he says, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. John chapter 15, verse 18. The Apostle Paul, the great hero of faith, testifies, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." Romans chapter 8, verse 18. That I may know him, page 280.
And remember, God is always faithful.